Right guys, I'm back. A little bit of an update on the van. It's actually very fun. I wasn't expecting to spend this amount of time on it now. I thought I was going to paint it and then put it away for a bit, but no, I've been a bit carried away with it, and it's very fun. So nice break from the trucks and the trailers. That's probably what it is. But yeah, as you can see, it looks more like a van. Started putting it back together again, started doing a bit of wiring. Those two, assembly and wiring, go hand in hand on these things. Put bars back on it. I've wired up the two roof bars, put the visor on, put the doors on, the door skins, the front bulkhead. I've made a rear bulkhead. My good friend Sam over at SC Customs, he 3D printed me the roof rack rails. I've had to modify them a little bit because that rear join is supposed to go back here, but obviously I've got the roof bar in the way, so I've had to cut a section out, move it back, and then glue it together. So yeah, but I think it's nice. This makes it look a bit more detailed. He also made me this speaker holder. Yeah, that's going to go, obviously that's the floor, so that goes underneath, obviously. But yeah, in terms of the van itself though, I put the front headlight fascia back together and back in. So that's the headlights with the grille, and then I put all the lights in the headlight itself and in the two marker lights in the grille. I haven't wired any of that up yet. I'll explain why in a second. My friend Joss, he made me some Cornwall My Home plates for the dashboard. So of course they'll just sit in there because I can't really put Cornwall on the visor. There's not really a lot of room there with the screw heads and all that. So never mind. But that will do. I've done the same thing on the tilt and slide, if you remember. Before I can wire up the front fascia and then run the wires into this central area where all the brains and the electrics are going to live, I've got to do the interior. Now, I didn't like the colour of it. It was this sort of bland grey. I didn't like that. And I had to cut the middle headrest off to make room for the little Mercedes badge which sits on the bulkhead, so you can actually see it. So I had to cut that off. I put a bit of filler in that, and when Sam did the conversion with the chassis, he had to cut a hole in the floor to make room for the motor and the gearbox, and I didn't like the fact that you could see that, so I've covered it up, just made that little balsa wood box, just using stuff I have lying around. So I've done that and then painted it. Now obviously it's not finished, but it's going to be a two-tone, so it's going to be this shiny silver. Again, I'm just trying to use what I've got. I didn't want to buy any more paint, so I had this tin or can of this chrome silver, so looked quite good actually. And then I'm going to mask this up this weekend, and I'm going to do another colour. I'm going to do matte black, so the majority of this will be matte black, but I'll keep things like the centre of the seats and the sill plates and the floor mats and the pedals. They'll all be shiny silver, so but most of it will be black, like the seat bolsters and the headrests and all that, and the bases and the box. So yeah, but that'll be good. Once that's painted, it just pops in, and then I can wire up all the headlights and that lot and run the wire under the floor. And I've put a hole, if you can see it, probably can't. There you can. There, hole in the back of the bulkhead there. It sits sort of here behind the driver's seat, so the wires tuck underneath. This is the little area that I've decided is where all the electrics are going to live. So I put a rear bulkhead in, so you don't see it when you open the back doors. You only see this when you open the side door. And the minute it's looking like a bit of spaghetti junction, because I'm just running all the wires and routing all the wires to this area. Of course, when this area has got the floor back on, it's basically from my hand forward. That's what you get access to. So the speaker will sit in there. I'll put the receiver probably on the wall, stick it up there above the speaker. Then we put the beer unit on the front bulkhead. The ESC will live on the rear bulkhead. I'm using a USM RC3 for this with a Hobbywing 1080. So a bit different setup, but I'll explain why in the future. But yeah, we'll put all the electrics in there, and then the rear bulkhead is a bit tidier. I'll put some pictures up. I put the Mercedes illuminated light back there. It looks quite nice. Got that from Adam at Model Lighting Solutions, as well as I got the speaker from Adam, and I got the marker lights here. Adam's a brilliant website, Model Lighting Solutions, and he's awesome guy. But we got these little orange marker lights to go in the side panels. There's 3 aside on the van itself. So yeah, we're getting there. On the floor, I put the rear suspension back on, and I put the rear bars in position. Wired them up. The wires just sit here at the minute. I've got to drill a hole for the floor so that the low bar lights, the sides and the rear, can come in into this area from underneath. I believe that's about it, really. I'm just picking away at it slowly here. Well, I say slowly, I've been doing a couple of hours an evening. I'm away for a few days now. I've got a couple of days away for work, and then next week I'm at a steam rally, so progress might be a bit slow for a bit, but we'll get there. But I think the next step really is I've got to get these rear lights sorted, so they're just solid red, which won't work if you want to put reverse lights in, because you can't put a white light behind a red lens, it comes out pink. Because science. So I need to figure out, well, I think I know what I'm going to do because I've seen it on someone else's van. I'm going to cut a section of his red lens out, and I'm going to stick in, this is a piece of clear lens that I cut out of the headlight, and I'm going to stick that in there, and then I can put my white reverse light in, and I might actually paint half of this orange and then put my indicator in there as well. So yeah, but I got to do that, wire these up, these then slide in underneath there, and then I can put the floor back on it, and then we can make a lot more progress then once the floor is in. So yeah, we'll keep picking away at it, but it's quite a fun project, very rewarding, I'll tell you that, and it's easy to work with, I think, because you haven't got to hulk around a massive cab or a massive chassis. This is it basically, and the doors behind me. So yeah, it's fun. I'll keep picking away at it, get a bit more of the assembly put back together, get some wiring done, and then we can move on to the beer unit and the radio. It's going to be on a different radio, this. I'm going to put it on I think I'm going to put it on a Fly Sky ST8. My mate had one. I had my mate's truck here the other week, Paul's truck, and he had a Fly Sky ST8 handset, and that was really nice radio actually, and it's not that expensive, and you get 10 channels out of it. So yeah, I think I might go with one of them, and then we can look at getting a few decals for it. But yeah, we'll worry about that in the future. I've got to sit there and come up with some designs, but we're getting there, it's taking shape. So but anyway guys, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch up with you soon. So I'm away for a few days now, but I'll update you when I've done something. Thanks for watching, cheers.